Hello, and today we're going to be looking at the Royal Regiment of Fusiliers. We're going to be looking at the history before it was amalgamated in 1968 and everything since then, also going through some information and facts that you may not know about. But this will aid you in passing off your 2-star military knowledge test. I'm CSM Davis, and let's have a look. So, the origins of the Fusiliers, the timeline we're going to be looking at. In 1544, the constable, as a Lord Lieutenant of Tower Hamlets, held the right to call upon the citizens in the local Tower Hamlets to fulfill the garrison guard duty. In 1605, the Privy Council, which you can see a picture of in the top right-hand corner of the screen with Elizabeth and her boys, extended the right to the constable to expand guard duty from Tower Hamlets to raising the militia companies called trained bands. In 1643, in January, the Parliament directed that the companies of the trained bands belonging to the Tower were to be a regiment under the command of the Lieutenant of the Tower. In 1661, with the restoration of St. George's Day, the regiment secured Tower Hill and the approaches for King Charles II's coronation process from the Tower to Westminster. From 1662, the London Militia Act confirmed the Constable's authority to raise the Tower Hamlets companies as standing militia of the Tower. In 1674, 10 companies were raised to fight the French in Holland. These companies were formed from 4 regiments. When the Monmouth Rebellion threatened King James II in 1685, two regiments were called back. These two soon became the 5th and 6th Foot. These names came from the seniority on how they disembarked the boats. And then in 1685, as the rebellion gained place, James appointed some men to form an ordnance regiment to protect the Tower's cannons. They were equipped with a snap-Hans musket, which is essentially the British version of the French fusil. Fusilier? Well, hey. The 2 ancient guard companies and 1 from the miners formed the King's Royal Regiment of Fusiliers, spelled with a Z, and I do not know why. This was known as the 7th Foot. Remember the 7th, 5th, and 6th Foot, as it will come in handy now. So the formation of the Royal Regiment of Fusiliers happened in 1968. On the 23rd of April 1968, as part of the reforms of the army, saw the creation of the first large infantry regiment. That's right, the biggest and the largest and the best. The 4 regiments, however, comprised of the Royal Northumberland Fusiliers, the 5th Foot, the Royal Fusiliers, 7th Foot, the Lancashire Fusiliers, 20th Foot, and the Royal Warwickshire Fusiliers, the 6th Foot. Each of these regiments have outstanding military achievements, such as Northumberland won the Hackley at the Battle of St. Lucia, the Lancashire winning the 6 Victoria Crosses at Gallipoli, Royal Warwickshire led the day at D-Day, and Royal Fusiliers counter-attack at Albuera in 1811, saving Wellington's campaign, which you of course know about, which happened in Spain against Napoleon. The Hackle. His Majesty's 5th Regiment of Foot, being Royal Northumberland, took the white plume to be worn in December 1778 after the Battle of St. Lucia. In 1829, King George IV ordered the white plume to be worn by all infantry regiments. Their plume was differentiated by being made half red and half white, the red uppermost instead of plain white feather worn by the rest of the army per the 1829 order, as a peculiar mark of honour. Quote from X, since I could not find the source of this. When I first typed up white plume to make this presentation, I came up with this fine looking gentleman. However, rest assured, this is not what a white plume looks like. The white plume is described as down there. If we add this with the honour gained from the Northumberland Regiment in 1778, we then afterwards get the hackle that we wear proudly today. So, the mascot. The mascot is currently the Indian black buck antelope called Bobby, inherited by the Royal Warwickshire Fusiliers. However, this is a protected animal and has been substituted by the Officer Hound George. That's the black buck down there, and this is George, which joins them on formal parades which the regiment is involved with. So some extras. The Royal Regiment of Fusiliers is an infantry regiment of the British Army. It has 2 battalions. The first is regular and an armoured infantry battalion, which used to be comprised of, the 1st and 2nd battalions, but have now been amalgamated under the Army 2020 cut down, based in Tidsworth, Wiltshire, and the 5th is a reserve battalion. So the motto is, pardon my French, Honi soit qui mal y pense, which means evil be to him who thinks. The regimental marches are British Grenadiers, which is in Quick March, and Royal Britannia, which is in Slow March. The regimental colonel-in-chief is HRH, the Duke of Kent, which is this fine gentleman over here. Since 1968, for regiment's formation, Fusiliers have served across the world and found themselves at the sharp end in countries as diverse as Northern Ireland and Cyprus. More recently, the regiment served in the Balkans, the First and Second Gulf Wars, and the Afghanistan campaigns. Well, that concludes what I have to say today, and I hope that this aids in you passing off your 2-star military knowledge. Please leave comments and any ideas for future videos down below, and the PowerPoint will be linked in the description. Thank you for watching, and credits to thefusiliers.org for giving me the information as to which to give to you.